I know you're not bashful, so we have a couple minutes that you can ask questions of the governor. Would you please? Go ahead.
Ray's got his hand up.
Governor, Ray Shakir from North Conway. The last time I had the pleasure of being in Ovid's house, and I do mean the pleasure, Rick Santorum was standing right where you are. And I asked him, Rick, can you please comment on the ethanol program? And he said all the right things. Then he went to Iowa. I'm not going to say what he said. Okay? So could you please comment on the ethanol program?
Sure. The question for those who maybe are in the back of the room who couldn't hear related to the ethanol program, and Ray's interested in the ethanol program more broadly. I'm from a state, of course, that has a big commitment to biofuels, as Iowa and many other places do. So just step back from the question. I'll answer it directly in just a second. I think this. We need to do everything we can that makes economic sense to unhook our country from places that don't like us, want to do us great harm, that are unstable, and that are dangerous towards the United States of America. So what we need to do is Americanize our energy sources, but we need to do those things that make economic sense. Real quickly, not on fuels, but on baseload energy in the country, the pie chart as we currently have it is about half coal, 20% nuclear, 20% natural gas, and the less is renewables, you know, solar, wind, and the like. The demand for this is going up so rapidly that you can't not look at that pie chart and say, we're going to have to do it all. We're going to have to do it all. Now, the big ones are these. We got a 250-year supply of coal in the United States of America. And the technology is getting better and better and better. So if we can have clean coal, we should use it. Right. I'm a big proponent of expanding nuclear energy. We should. Absolutely. And here's a game-changing development that is just different than 5 years ago. Natural gas. We now have found massive amounts of natural gas within the territorial reach of the United States. Many experts, most experts, believe it's enough natural gas to supply the entire baseload energy needs of the country for at least 100, if not 200 or 300 years. And so we have a huge game-changing opportunity in the form of natural gas. It's here, it burns cleaner, and it's relatively efficient and affordable compared to the other sources. Now, as to renewables, I think we should do those renewables that make economic sense. Some do, some don't. But as we talk about renewables and the subsidies that go with them, let's make sure that we put the whole story on the table, because all energy is subsidized. Some, again, even with that, some have to be measured to see what's the efficiency, what's the efficiency of it. So let me give you the example. Nuclear energy was paid for entirely by the government. It was researched, commercialized, and still to this day subsidized by the United States federal government. Coal is subsidized by the United States government. Oil is subsidized by the United States government. Ethanol, biofuels, wind, solar, it is all subsidized. So you should know that, either directly in the form of cash payments or in the form of credits in the tax code. So if we should have a position on subsidies, then we should put all the subsidies on the table and say which ones you want to shut off or not. As to ethanol, it started a long time ago. It's gotten a little better, somewhat better, but they're going to have to move, and they understand this, from what they have now, which is corn-based or grain-based ethanol, and they're hoping to break through with what's called cellulosic ethanol. So instead of using grains as a fuel source, the hope is they can use algae, switchgrass, fast-growing woods, and the like. And if there's many exciting pilot projects around the country. I don't know if any of them will be able to be brought to scale, but if they can, what they promise is 10 times more efficient process, and the fuel source is waste or byproduct or marginal product, and that would be a brighter future for biofuels. In the meantime, know that in the budget challenges we had in Minnesota, we reduced those payments. I think eliminated the payments to the ethanol producers on the front end. We had to push a few of them in the back, but we don't provide producer payments anymore in Minnesota to the ethanol producers in our state. The producer payments that we used to have. But the bottom line is, if the industry is going to change from what it is now and get to the next level, they're going to have a breakthrough on cellulosic biofuels, and they know that, and they're working on it. They just don't have it yet.
However,
yeah,
there is also a lot of other drawbacks of ethanol, including that it takes more energy to produce a gallon of ethanol than it does to produce a gallon of gasoline. It contains less BTU than gasoline. it destroys engines. If anybody has had a snowblower this year and it's conked out on them, you know because you put 10% ethanol product in that gasoline and it is screwing up your carburetor. And the same thing goes with chainsaws and all kinds of lawn equipment, okay? The bottom line is that it's a product that is inferior to gasoline in many, many ways. And unfortunately, I have read that Tim Pawelke wants to increase that percentage to 20%, I believe, at 2015.
Yeah.
Is that still your position?
Well, the federal government said no to that, so it's 15% if you have a car that's newer than a certain age. But as to ethanol and snow blowers, you should know I got a 15-year-old snowblower from Sears. 17-year-old.
It's 17
I just want to tell you one quick digression. I blow the snow a lot in Minnesota. And Mary does too. But Ray, this is how I want you to know I'm a conservative. When I bought this snowblower 17 years ago for $50 more, I could have gotten an electric start. And I'm out there several times a week, early in the morning, pulling on this rope. And every time I do that, with my back getting older and older, I think, you cheapskate, you should have got that electric start. But as to biofuels, I'll just say this. We can, and we're not going to summarily pull the plug out from underneath it. You make some good points in your arguments, but I think the future should be about how do we get it from what it is now to cellulosic. And if they can get there, great. And if they can't get there, these other options in the marketplace are going to become more attractive.
Thank you very much.